illness. So to be honest, in this situation, there's really nothing that could be done. I don't blame the woman if she called the police, because that is traumatizing. She has a child. You know, we have to realize that. And the police, they actually did their job. You don't know. If somebody is mentally ill, they got a gun. Podcast and commentary. Multiple minds hearing multiple messages. And I'm back with another video. Today, we're going to get into a shooting that happened. So I'm going to pull that up so we can react to this. Alright, so I guess it was a shooting in Minneapolis, and we're gonna see what they got to say. Let's get to the video.
After a Minneapolis man was shot and killed by police following a 6-hour standoff this week, Andrew Tekle Sundberg's family, friends, and members of the community are calling for transparency about what happened. As Devon Roming reports, there's also one resident who lived in the building with Sundberg who wants her concerns heard as well.
We're just here to respect life, demand justice.
This is not okay!
What started as an afternoon rally with demands for justice and calls for the body cam footage to be released in the police shooting death of Andrew Tekle Sundberg quickly boiled over into anger and frustration when 24-year-old Arabella Yarbrough showed up.
If I could have died, would he be a bad guy then? For 3 years I lived here, and none of you guys left that man's door to see if he was okay. Not at all! He played loud music every day to cope with his mindset.
Yarbrough says she's the woman who initially called police, stating Tekle was shooting into her apartment with her 2 kids inside Wednesday night. Pictures of bullet holes from inside her apartment capturing the damage.
And sorry he lost his life, but he had 6 hours to choose that. I had 2 to 5 minutes to choose life or death.
Yarbrough says she had a few run-ins with Tekle and thought their differences were settled.
When someone is stalking you, threatening you, I left it alone. I could have called the police and reported it, but then I would have put a black innocent man in jail because of mental illness, and ain't no telling what would have happened. So I left it alone.
The trauma of this event now weighing heavily on members of the community.
His family took everything that they could and did everything that they could to help him. He has so many brothers and sisters that love him.
And his parents, who say they adopted him when he was 4 years old.
She had the courage to come down here and speak her mind, and she has every right to do that.
Tekle is an imperfect human, as we're all imperfect humans, and he did not deserve to be picked off like an animal from a rooftop. He deserved to be able to address this with her.
Alright, so we seen a video on that, and now I'm gonna speak about it. So from what I get from that video is you had a young black man, he was dealing with mental illness. She was saying that he was playing music out loud and stuff like that. She never really called the police on him because she didn't want him to get arrested. She didn't want anything to happen to him. A young black man that hasn't done nothing at the time to go to jail. And it seemed like she knew that he had a mental illness, so I can understand why she did what she did, and you know, not trying to call the police on him because, you know, something might end up happening. I feel like the family should have reached out to that young man and tried to figure out what was wrong with him, talk with him, and potentially get him some help, stuff like that. I seen something about this earlier, but this is the first time I actually found out a lot of the information on it. Well, not a lot of information, pretty much the basic, a little bit more in depth. But what I found out earlier is those 2 people that were sitting up there crying, like the older white man and the older white woman, those were his adopted. Those are the parents that adopted him. So, and then he ended up getting shot and killed later on by the police. And you got people out in the streets, they marching, you know, saying that he was wrongfully killed and stuff like that. But what people have to realize in this situation is that woman, she could have been nervous. You know, she already said herself that he was already doing a lot of suspicious, crazy things, but she ignored it because she knew it was something wrong with him. But then a bunch of bullets start coming into your apartment, you know, she's probably gonna grab her child, call the police, and you know, she don't know what's going on over there and stuff like that. And for people to be out there in the streets yelling at her and being upset with her, you have to realize that that woman does not deserve to go through what she went through. And anybody that's sitting up here defending, I will say, I'm not saying that I'm against the guy, because he got a mental illness. I don't know for sure if he has one, but if he does have a mental illness, I think a lot of things could have been handled better. But you really can't handle something better when officers report to a scene and they don't know that this person has a mental illness. So to be honest, in this situation, there's really nothing that could be done. I don't blame the woman if she called the police, because that is traumatizing. She has a child. You know, we have to realize that. And the police, they actually did their job. You don't know. If somebody is mentally ill, they got a gun, you know, they might not make the right choices. Probably the best choice was for him to be put down. You know, you never know. He could have killed one of those officers and taken them away from their family. We have to be realistic when we talking about a lot of these things. A lot of times we cry and complain about stuff, but we got to put other people's lives into consideration. Do I feel like the guy should have died? No. I wish that he had got help. But, you know, we live in a country where you really don't get help. You know, we have a big mental illness issue in this country. And I feel like we need to start tackling those issues and paying attention to it. But other than that, man, y'all get in the comment section. Tell me how y'all feel about this situation. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can see when my next video come out. Other than that, be easy, man.